Dominic says, if Gus Bradley is made DC, would he be a long-term option? Let's go right there. The next defensive coordinator. I was going to ask my question for the coordinator was going to be, are you going to look outside the organization, and does the next defensive coordinator have to run the wide nine? Are you still married to that front? And Eric beat me to the punch, and he said a lot of people kind of connecting the dots that Gus Bradley could be the replacement. What do you think? And Kyle was like, yeah, he's definitely the number one choice in the organization. We'll look outside the organization, but we won't cast a wide net. We'll do what we have to do. Rooney Rule. Maybe they'll wait to see if Jim Schwartz is available. Maybe not. What do you think of him basically saying that Gus Bradley's probably going to be the defensive coordinator?
I think that's been the plan. I mean, I think that's the plan. I mean, I don't think Gus came out here because the Niners knew that they were that Saleh was very likely a one and done situation, and they knew that their continuity on the defensive coordinator side of the football, that's a major thing. I mean, it's like some guys are going to make you change your front. If you change your front, then now you got to change how you draft and the kinds of defensive linemen you go after. So it's not necessarily something you want to be changing around often. Shanahan in the past has said he's open to a 3-4, but today he said, they like their wide nine and they like their 4-man front and they like that. And I think for continuity purposes, they want to keep Chris. I bet you they want to keep Chris, Holland, and Bullocks. And so I think, yes, they're going to do their process because it's mandated by the league and they don't want to incur fines and that kind of thing. And I'm sure there's a couple people they'll talk to, but he made it seem like, Bradley is the choice. And that didn't surprise me at all. I thought Bradley was the choice. And I think people should be pretty excited about that. This was a very, very good defensive coordinator in a couple other spots and a guy that knows defensive personnel, which is they still need to build that up. And so that's, to me, what is encouraging about Bradley. I think he gives you two things. He's a veteran coach. He's 59. He's not 75. And he knows personnel.
Hate it. I really don't like the idea of promoting Gus Bradley. I think it's a big mistake. And it feels like instead of going out and getting the best guy, you want to keep Chris Kasarik. You want to keep Johnny Holland. You want to keep Daniel Bullocks. And they're all good. But you should get what's most important is to have a good defensive coordinator. This guy's been on like 7 teams. What's most important is to get a good defensive coordinator, the best one available, and let him pick whatever scheme, whatever coaches he wants, whatever players he wants. But they won't do that because they're married to these certain things. And so they'll promote Gus Bradley because that's the plan and he's been here and they know him. And I feel like that's how you ended up with Sorensen. It's how you ended up with Steve Wilkes. I would much. I mean, if they could get Jim Schwartz, I would like to get Jim Schwartz. But it's possible that Jim Schwartz won't be available. He could be. They want to keep him in Cleveland in one way or another. So, is Raheem Morris not better than? I think Raheem Morris is better than Gus Bradley. He just would change things around. They haven't evolved at all on defense. I mean, not much since 2019. I'd be open to it.
I just don't understand why you're down on Gus Bradley because, I mean, Gus Bradley had success as a defensive coordinator and also had a lot of success in kind of the origins of that Seattle defense. I mean, even this year for the 49ers, he had success this year. I mean, he was the assistant head coach. They gave him one job. Your job was to be the red zone defensive czar. They were 10 spots higher in red zone defense than they were in their regular defense. They were 24th in defense. They were 14th in the red zone.
So, Colts fired him a year ago. He was one and done with the Raiders. You ask Charger fans about him, they scoff. He's very vanilla. He's way more vanilla than Robert Saleh. He's not going to blitz. If his pass rush is crazy good, maybe it'll work. But to me, he hasn't really had success as a DC in more than 10 years, which is why he's been bouncing around, which is why he wasn't a DC last year. I mean, it's great that the Niners rehabilitated his image and got him in the culture and on the team. But if they're just asking him to be kind of like Robert Saleh, I think he's going to break their heart.
That's funny. I know some people that feel that he's a better coach than Robert Saleh defensively. I don't know. I mean, it depends who you talk to.
Yeah.
I personally think that Gus Bradley would be – they'd be very fortunate to get themselves a Gus Bradley. Now, Schwartz is intriguing because Schwartz does have the wide nine. He's had a lot of success in a lot of different space, in a lot of different places, and maybe he's got a few more years of longevity. Maybe a guy like Schwartz has already been a head coach a few times, and now he'll be here. Maybe he'd be an upgrade. I don't know that much about Raheem Morris. I know that Kyle had him, but I mean, Atlanta seemed like a very vanilla defense. The Niners, that was the one team they ran well against this year. And then after the Niners beat him, they went into like a month-long funk and he got fired. So I don't know. I'm not really sure what I think of Raheem Morris, to be honest.
I think you could do better than both of them. I mean, I don't have a name off the top of my head, but it just feels like, look at what this job has been for Saleh, for D'Amico. I mean, if you have 1 or 2 good years coaching this defense, it's a springboard to being a head coach.
I
So,
mean, some people say
Gus
AJ
Bradley's
Watt.
not gonna be a head coach again. Any defensive coach who's ambitious and has, designs of being a head coach sooner rather than later, why not look at this job?
I mean, the only thing is that there's one thing with this job is that Kyle's more likely to blame you than blame himself.
That is true. You absolutely are the scapegoat if it doesn't go well.
So it's like it's kind
Steve
of
Wilkes probably wishes he didn't take this job. Same with Sorensen.
I mean, Sorensen was lucky to have the job. I mean, come on. I mean, who else is making Nick Sorensen their defensive coordinator?
I got a prediction today on January 21st before Gus Bradley's even been hired. If they hire him, he'll be one and done. Predicting it right now.
1 year of Bradley and then on to somebody else.
One and done. That's been their thing. I mean, they're on their 5th DC in 5 years.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, I don't care who's coordinating the defense if they don't get serious about what they have on the defensive side. I mean, they had the best linebacking core in the league under D'Amico Ryans. Right now you've got Fred Warner coming off of the biggest injury of his career on the wrong side of 30, right? And then you've got Tatum Bethune and Nick Martin
Garrett Wallow.
And guys
Garrett
Wallow, Kendricks. I mean, it's a wasteland of nothingness. They gotta prioritize getting a great linebacker somehow, some way.